Now, of course, all eyes around the world remain on Israel, Gaza and the expected ceasefire. Israeli officials have announced that the hostage for prisoner swap deal has been delayed until tomorrow. In a statement, Benjamin Netanyahu's national security advisor said the release will begin according to the original agreement between the parties and not before Friday. Here's one Israeli mum explaining the anguish of waiting for her son and daughter to return home.
Children like Sahar and Erez Calderon, a 12-year-old boy from a kibbutz and his 16-year-old sister. Their mother, Hadass, says she's caught between hope and anxiety over their fate.
It's very sensitive and delicate and fragile, this agreement. It's not in one day, it's like slowly, something can happen. Something wrong can happen, and then it will blow up. I know that without this family, these children and father, without them, I lost my life.
Good Lord, imagine the horror, the worry, and she doesn't know that her children will be released. She's hoping her children might be among the first released in this hostage swap deal. Let me bring in former Foreign Minister Alexander Downer live from London. Thanks for joining us again, Alexander. This deal is a tough deal for Israel to negotiate, but it shows how desperate it is to get hostages back alive. Should the delay be seen as worrying, or is there anything we can read into the delay, or we just have to wait and see what transpires?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. The cause of the delay seems to be the selection of the 50 people who Hamas say they're going to release. Remember, they took 240 hostages. The deal here is to release 50 of them. I think exclusively women and children. And so there seems to be some issue in relation to who is actually going to be released, but hopefully they will be released, by the way, in exchange for the release of 150 Palestinians from Israeli prisons.
Yeah, now in the past, Hamas has broken ceasefires. If hostages can be released in the next 24 hours, 50, and those releases continue, that will be a brilliant thing, obviously. But how optimistic should people be about any ceasefire holding for a reasonable period of time?
Well, it's not going to be in Israel's interest, is it, to allow Hamas to rearm and reorganize itself after the Israeli Defense Force has been trying to eliminate Hamas. It is in Hamas's interest to have a ceasefire for as long as is possible until they, once more, as they did on the 7th of October, decide to break the ceasefire, and to break it at a time of their own choosing, a time of maximum advantage to Hamas. So, I mean, I'm not giving any advice to the Israeli government, but I would have thought the Israeli government would be right to try to eliminate any military capability that Hamas may have, in order to ensure, well, fine, have a ceasefire when you're absolutely confident then that they're not able to regroup and attack Israel again. There was a ceasefire up until the 7th of October, and Hamas decided to break it by killing 1,200 people.
Yeah, 1,200 innocent people. And we've started to see some more vision coming out of the Israeli Defense Force of the intricate and sophisticated tunnels under the Al-Shifa hospital. We'll come back to more of that next week, no doubt. I want to get to, Alexander, on the latest, the breaking news in Australia, and that is news that an asylum seeker boat has actually made it to the Australian coast, to the mainland in the Kimberley region, a boat from Indonesia carrying asylum seekers. This is a worrying development. We know about half a dozen boats have been turned back successfully by Labor in their year and a half in power so far. But explain to us, when it comes to border protection, the fact that these people get to the mainland will give them additional legal rights, won't it? It's quite a coup for them.
It is, yes. I'm not exactly sure how the law is at the moment. You might recall years ago, during the time of the Howard government, the northwestern strip of Australia, coastal strip of Australia, was excised from the immigration zone. But I think Labor reversed that. So these people will have certain rights of appeal to Australian courts and to the Australian judicial system. It surprises me that a vote got through because normally you would expect the surveillance system to have been more effective. The thing is, of course, the government has to make it absolutely clear these people will be sent off to Nauru for processing. They won't be able to stay in Australia, and they might have some legal problems in asserting that and making sure that happens. But that's what stopped people making these hazardous journeys on boats across into Australia. So let's hope the government can show resolve.
I think this is the worry, isn't it? Like you, I'm just not exactly certain of where the legal status at the moment is because it's changed a bit. The whole idea of turning back boats and getting people to Nauru is to keep them out of the Australian legal system. But these people, by getting to the mainland, it might be very hard to get them to Nauru or anywhere else.
Yeah, well, we need more facts on that. I'm pretty sure that the Rudd government changed the legal provisions of the Howard government. Now, whether the Abbott, etc., governments changed them back again, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't recall hearing that they did. So
nonetheless,
I'm not sure what that.
It is a worry, as you say. We don't want to see that evil people smuggling trade flourishing again, and it's a worrying sign. Thanks so much for joining us, Alexander Downer. I appreciate it.